G'day Chris. Today we're going to be talking about looking after the course, how the members can assist you and assist everybody in making sure we get the best conditions all the time. First we're going to look at divot repair, and we've got a nice fresh divot down here. Nice large hole. How we go about repairing that?
So ideally the best way to repair it is we use our wedge, or basically whatever club you used to create the divot, and we just lightly chop in at the sides, not too heavy to make the hole bigger, but big enough to just create a bit of an avenue for turf to cover the area. So we've lightly chopped in around all the sides. We grab our trusty divot bucket and we just lightly sprinkle our sand, pressing it down, smoothing it over with our foot. And if you left that for us, we'd be absolutely happy. It would stay out of the way of our cylinder mowers and keep our sharp edge on our mowers. And it would also have a recovery time of a week or two, even this time of year. We're mid-May at the moment, and we'd also would be looking at about a 2-week recovery period there.
And just beside it is this older divot that somebody hadn't taken the care to repair. How does that change in terms of recovery from what you've just done to a later repair on where it's obviously died at the edges already?
Okay, so it's probably made a week or two ago, and we're probably looking at around a 4 to 5 week recovery period for that just to recover and for the turf to come over, especially this time of year. And also you want to be courteous to your fellow golfers as well. If you left that on the fairway, at the moment we don't have preferred lies or lift and clean, so to leave that for a fellow golfer, it's not the best etiquette. And also I always look at the fact of how would I feel if I landed in that. So it's always important just to spend 10 seconds after you make those type of divots, chopping in the edges like we did before, and then just filling it in with a little bit of sand to make sure that area, especially given that we have close to 90,000 rounds a year, that just makes sure that this course is as playable as it possibly can be year round, given we're such a small site and small golf course.
Now, I've seen you take good care of how high you make that sand. We do see larger piles, and just give us an example of what not to do if you've got a sand
It's a little
bucket.
bit called killing it with kindness. So too much sand is actually detrimental not only to the turf but also to our mowers. So people who come along and go, oh, there's a divot, and just plonk a whole lot of sand there and pat it down, well, that's going to ruin our cylinder mowers. It's also going to create a mound for other golfers for their golf ball to rest up against, and definitely not ideal from a maintenance and recovery point of view.
With this, Chris, on our course, a lot of people take divots and make the effort to repair them by putting the divot back in. Is that the ideal way of doing it?
Not really here for Everglades. We've got a warm season grass, kikuyu, predominantly across all the fairways. So the best way is to actually chop in the edges and fill it with sand just underneath ground level and press it down with your feet. The reason why is these tufts often dry out, and you'll often be left with a big divot that hasn't been chopped in from the sides, and the recovery time on that, as we said before, is about 4 or 5 weeks. Generally these will bake out in the warm sun and get sucked up by the fairway mower, and then all of a sudden we're left with these big divots across the fairway. So ideally, if members could just look at chopping their edges in a little bit with their irons or the edges of their wood, whatever they've made the divot with, and then just going through that process of divot repair, that's the most beneficial way that we can keep the fairways here in good condition.